go. Right, let's just wait for a few people to come in, and then Andy, all over to you.
Sure. You're going to introduce me, Paul? Or?
Hi, introduce yourself. I think that's better. If I have to introduce you, then yeah, I think it's safer you introducing yourself,
Okay,
isn't
okay.
it? Good. Let's give people a couple of minutes. Afternoon, all. For those of you that have joined us, so we'll give it a minute or so, and then let Andy crack on.
Fantastic.
Right, and what I'll do, Andy, as well, I'll disappear, which is
Okay,
for
okay.
the benefit of everybody.
Is it quite noisy where I am, Paul? Is it okay?
No, it's okay. Yeah, it's just a
Okay.
little buzz, little beep every now and again.
Good, good.
But you're all okay.
Smashing.
Good. Right. Let's crack on. And as people join,
Paul, before we,
I'm recording as well. So
could you just give me the facility to share my screen, please, Paul?
you should be able to as a panelist.
When I click share screen, it says host disabled participant screen
Oh,
sharing.
there we go. There's a technical issue, which is me. Right. Hold on. Right, let's sort that out. Co-host. Right. There we go. You should be able to do that. Right. I'll let
Yeah.
you crack on. Thanks, Andy.
Fantastic. Great stuff. Okay, so hi everybody. My name is Andy Shields. First and foremost, thank you very much to Paul and the chaps at the Mortgage Marketing Forum for the opportunity to speak to you all this afternoon. Hopefully you can all hear me okay. I'm currently sort of about 20 minutes south of Birmingham in a Starbucks running this meeting, so just making my way back to the north. But yeah, thank you for your time this afternoon. So I'm here to talk to you about our upcoming events and our events for the future, the Financial Advisor event, a little bit of sort of background on myself and our position just to kind of set the scene. So a lot of you will hopefully sort of know myself from as the co-owner and joint managing director of Barcadia Media. Under our umbrella sits Financial Reporter. Financial Reporter is now the largest digital B2B publication in the mortgage space of its kind. We get more website visits than any other publication in the industry, so we have immense access through that publication. And through that, we do a huge portfolio of CIA accredited educational events through Barcadia Media and Financial Reporter every year, and do roughly around 50 events every year. So that's kind of my background. I was responsible a number of years ago for working really closely with the team at Financial Services Expo, working on the curation, branding, and marketing of that event from day one, and worked with them for a number of years. Unfortunately, that event's now moved on, and myself and James Lucas, my business partner, you'll probably know, have always had aspirations of moving into the exhibition space. I think with FSC now no longer being an exhibition in our industry, I think there's a real opportunity to do something in the exhibition space. Without sort of speaking out of term, I think my experiences of exhibitions in our industry over the last sort of 2, 3, 4, 5 years have left a little bit to be desired. I think there's a real opportunity to improve the quality of the footfall in terms of the delegates that attend these events and effectively stand in front of you on your stand on the day. And this event, the Financial Advisor event, the work that we've undertaken to curate this event very much addresses a lot of those issues, and hopefully we'll be putting on an event like nothing before us. So I'm going to just share a couple of slides with you now, just to kind of paint the picture. So obviously, as you can obviously see, I'm absolutely not stressed at all. We've got our first event of the year next week in Manchester on the 14th. So literally counting down the days to that event. That's at Victoria Warehouse in Manchester. And then our London event is 3 short weeks after that at Tobacco Dock in London. So we're very much in the sort of final stages of Manchester's marketing process and kind of pulling the event together, which is fantastic because I've got bits of case study and stuff that I can share with you. I always press the wrong button at that point. So going back to kind of what I mentioned earlier about what makes this event different to exhibitions that have come before us in the industry. So first and foremost is addressing that quality of the delegate that we put in front of you on your stand on the day. Very much want to kind of move away from, look, I think the majority of people probably on this webinar have some experience of exhibitions in our industry over the last 5 years. There's a lot of people that come to these shows to see how many free pens they can steal and get their CPD points and kind of move on. That was very much our kind of like key point, our manifesto for the marketing from day one was like, how do we attract a better quality of delegate? So going back to kind of my business, Barcadia Media and Financial Reporter, the quality of the data that we hold we've really worked incredibly hard on that over the last 5 years. So we know a lot about the people that interact with our products, what news they're reading on Financial Reporter, which events they're going to through our roadshows, and and the awards that they're interacting with through our programs. So in a lot of instances, we know what they're interested in, we know what products they're interested in, and actually the data that we've been able to collect means that we know in a lot of instances what positions they hold at the company and how large those companies are. So that very much has been, those people have been the people that we have targeted for our marketing for both of these upcoming shows. And the response has been fantastic. We're Manchester's registrations are just coming up to 700 now, which has been very much kind of exceeded expectations, given we've launched this product during a pandemic, during the summer holidays when everybody went on holiday after the last kind of 18 months we've had. So we've got a fantastic response from the marketing so far. One of the ways we've also been able to attract these big ticket decision makers and put them in front of you on your stand on the day is through the quality of our educational content. So we've got 2 theatres at both shows. First of all, sort of a seminar theatre that you'd all sort of be used to, CII accredited, but we've got some really interesting sessions, all of which are available on our website if you want to have a look afterwards. And the headline speaker at both shows in Manchester and London is going to be somebody from the FCA, looking at kind of the industry and the market in a post-pandemic kind of environment. So that's obviously a big pull for these people. Then beyond that, we wanted to look at kind of like, interesting, engaging content that was just a little bit different to what we're used to, not the run-of-the-mill sort of mortgage market kind of stuff or regulation stuff. So we've launched something called the Futures Theatre. This is a much smaller theatre. It sits in the show itself. It's open plan, all standing. And these sessions are going to be very sort of short, consumable content. Think like TED Talk style sessions, 10, 15, 20 minutes tops. And in this theatre, we're covering everything from marketing workshops, we're doing technology demonstrations, we're piggybacking on the work that we do with our Gender Equality Awards programme, the Women's Recognition Awards, and doing sessions on gender diversity in the hiring process in the workplace. So looking at interesting, very consumable, kind of short bits of content, just to kind of give us an extra sort of string to our bow in terms of what people can get out of our show if they attend on the day. And that's been incredibly well received. In Manchester, we've received approximately, in Manchester, sorry, we've got about 8 sessions. We've got 8 sessions running, and in London, we've got 10 sessions running in that theatre, back-to-back, real quick fire sessions. The next point, I think, in 2021, I think it's more important than ever, given the sort of the environment around us, that we try and be more planet conscious and planet friendly where we can. So at our show, everything that can be recycled will be recycled. We'll have dedicated recycling points all around the show. Everything from the forks that you eat your dinner with to the coffee cups that you drink your coffee out of will be recyclable. Everything that we're building for Manchester, we are reusing for London, and then we'll be able to use that going forward, or using recyclable, sustainable products. And then about a month ago, we committed to working with a company called One Tree Planted. So we've committed for every attendee to both FEE shows between now and the end of the year, we will plant 1 tree to offset our cost.
Hi, Randy. Are you still there? I think Starbucks Wi-Fi has potentially has potentially let Andy down. So we'll give him a couple of minutes to hopefully rejoin. In the meantime, if anyone's got any questions for Andy, by all means, please post into the Q&A, or we will. If you put your hands up on the Zoom webinar, I can turn on your camera and camera microphone when Andy's back. So I've just messaged him. He's just rejoining. So be back in 2 secs. Welcome back.
I'm incredibly sorry about that. The Starbucks Wi-Fi must have let me down.
No
Paul,
problem.
could you allow me to share my screen again?
Of course I can. Yeah, no problem.
Sorry about
No problem at all. I've said to the guys as well, if they've got any questions or anything, to either put their hands up or to pop it into the Q&A, and we'll go from there. But let me sort that out for you now. Right, there you go.
Fantastic. I'm back on. So I'll just pick up where I left off. So we're talking about the COVID safety. So what's really nice about what's been born out of that kind of attention to operating the event safely is that first and foremost, we didn't want traditional lanyards and name badges and exhibition because it's another contact point from a COVID point of view, but it's also it's not very good for the environment. So we've implemented technology so that every attendee will have a QR code that they've already received, which will be their entry to the show. They will use this QR code to interact with things around the show, for example, scanning into the seminar theatres to collect CPD and such. What we can actually offer our exhibitors using this tech is we can offer all of our exhibitors a QR code on your stand. So what that means is as our delegates move around the show, they can scan the QR code on your stand and at that point collect information about you. Then post-event, what we can do is, the application will provide you with a comprehensive list of every single individual that's interacted with your stand throughout the day. And then on the other side, each of the delegates will receive a follow-up list of everybody that they've scanned on the day. So for me, having worked in exhibitions for a number of years and looking at how we can kind of extend your experience beyond kind of when that show closes at 3 o'clock, how we can continue that lead generation experience. So it's a really, really useful tool. And looking at behaviours of the way people move around shows, the amount of times that when we used to hire kind of mystery shoppers to do the FSC shows, and you'd look at behaviours of how delegates move around the event. And it's amazing the amount of kind of lost footfall there is just because your BDMs are busy speaking to someone else, or it's a busy time in that particular part of the show. So this kind of maximizes the opportunity with every attendee to interact with you in some way during your experience at the Financial Advisor event. So we got 2 shows, as I said. I'm always, London is our sort of flagship larger show. That's in 3 weeks after Manchester. So we've picked it. We really didn't want to go back to a traditional kind of, what's the best way, sort of like functioned style exhibition space. We wanted a venue that was comfortable, was attractive, complements our kind of ambition to do things differently. Again, just sort of touching on the point earlier about how important it is to try and I want this to be a day out for somebody to go to. I want this to be something that you block out in your diary as an attendee. And there's so much content, so many good people to meet, so much to do at the show that you're not just coming in to see how many free pens you can get and your CPD points of leaving. So picking an environment that complements that was very, very important for our show. At Tobacco Dock, we're occupying a place called the East Mall. It's a really beautiful space. It's a disused shopping mall, or an old shopping mall. Lots of glass-fronted breakout spaces, lots of natural light, a really, really comfortable, inviting environment, not like anything an exhibition in our industry before has sort of done. just touching on the point I mentioned earlier about creating an environment where people want to spend the day, want to sort of enjoy that, it's not just a sort of in and out kind of experience. Certainly when I used to do the London FSE exhibition, you'd be a sort of semi-hot day in September, you'd get to kind of halfway through the show, maybe sort of after lunchtime, you'd step outside and there'd be, 50, 60 people would all be in the pub across the road, all stood outside enjoying the sun. But effectively, all still continuing the conversation. Our entire industry is built on relationships and conversation. So we really wanted to sort of look how we could create an environment where people didn't feel the need to sort of leave to have those more relaxed conversations. So on this particular slide here, you're looking at this area is called the Square at Tobacco Dock. We are astroturfing this area, and we're bringing in some picnic tables to create an inside networking space for people to enjoy on the day. And we're also going to build a purpose-built on-site bar. So during the course of the day, from sort of 12:30 onwards, the bar will open, and it will allow exhibitors and delegates alike to enjoy the environment, to continue the conversation and not feel the need to sort of leave the show to enjoy that. We've actually also, our good friends at Bright Star Financial, they have an individual that works for them that's actually a DJ. So he is going to, between 2 and 4 p.m, he's going to play some sort of relaxed kind of like background music. When the show finishes at 3 p.m, we're operating a hybrid networking and drinks event when the show's finished for delegates and exhibitors to join us for a drink to decompress after the day, to the background of some nice music. So very much trying to think a bit differently, do things a bit differently, create a nice environment, and for people to sort of stick around for a little bit longer on the day. And there's a little bit more regarding tobacco, another slide of Tobacco Dock. So it's a really cool space. And then the Manchester venue is exactly what you'd expect from Manchester. It's a big red brick industrial warehouse looking building. I've been to see a lot of bands in this place over the years. Funnily enough, I'm actually going to see a band 3 days after our show next week. So I'm going here twice next week. But a really contemporary, interesting, like exciting venue, a place that you want to spend your day. It's just a really, really fantastic space. This is always a good slide to sort of talk about our shell scheme, our stand styling. So really didn't want to do traditional, we all know traditional paddock style shell scheme, very against kind of when you get a block of sort of 6 shell schemes. That's difficult to say, and you'd be number 3 in that kind of block. You're kind of penned in at both sides. It's not inviting for people moving around the show to interact with you. It's not very engaging for you to try and catch the eye of people and interact with them. So we made a commitment to make sure that every single stand at both of our shows are open on both sides. So everybody will every stand has 2 walls. And what it means is your line of sight is much wider than you would do if you were packed into a shell scheme. And it's also, going back to my experiences of looking at the behavior of delegates at these events in my past exhibitions we've done. If you've got an open plan stand like that, it means they're very much more engaged. Their line of sight to see who you are, what you're doing, and whether they want to have a conversation with you is a lot stronger. So really excited about sort of seeing that being in effect on Tuesday next week. I think it'll make for a real good energy around the show. And there's a little bit more of Victoria Warehouse. So yeah, I mean, again, with myself, it's been a really fantastic journey so far. The product's been incredibly well received, and not only with registrations, but also with the incredible panel of exhibitors that we've got on our lineup. Manchester's obviously a few short days away, counting down the days now. London is, we're about approximately 4 weeks or 3 weeks out from London, and we do actually have a couple of stands available for that event left. So if anybody was interested after this presentation, please don't hesitate to get in touch regarding that one. But just to sub-note, everyone that likes what they see and does have any more questions, I'm actually going to be at both events in Manchester and London. And anybody that's interested in finding out a bit more, I'm doing walkarounds of the event with individuals that are potentially prospective exhibitors. So if any of you are around, or anybody you fancy grabbing a coffee and having a stroll through the show, and I can talk you through some of these points, and just again get in touch, it'd be great to see you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Andy. Appreciate that. We before I've got a few questions, but
Sure,
before that, Tony's asked a question.
sure.
Tony from TML. So they've got a speaker at the event, Steve Griffiths. So she was wondering if there are any stand opportunities, branding opportunities that she can get sort of visibility of.
Yeah, absolutely, Tony. So we've got yeah, we've still got little bits of little bits and pieces still available. So I think the best thing to do, if it's okay with you, I'll get your contact details from Paul, and I can just drop you a line after this meeting, and we can pick that up. Absolutely. Yeah,
Perfect. Thank you.
no
And
problem.
obviously for everybody that's attending as well, we for the London event, the Mortgage Marketing Forum, we have our first live physical seminar on the 5th of October. So that's going to start from 2 p.m. and run to about 3:30. So Andy and his team have been kind enough to allow us to be part of the London event. Yeah, we're just working with the guys in terms of sort of look and feel of that room. Details are on the forum website, and I've also sent you invites as well. So hopefully we can see many of you there. In terms of the audience makeup, Andy. So what do you expect? We had a question the other day from someone about whether it's a sort of mix of ARs, DAs. What are you expecting, or what are you seeing from your initial registrations?
Yeah, so I mean, the data that we hold, we know sort of quite extensively what people's sort of AR/DR status is, what products they kind of deal with. We've not kind of gone into, when you look at kind of conversions and registrations on the website, we want to make it as simple as possible. So we're quite fortunate that we can take the bare minimum for a registration if somebody wants to come, but actually we know a lot more about that person behind the scenes. When we've done a kind of cross analysis of the people that have registered so far, it's a real mix. Predominantly, as you would expect, it's predominantly people in the mortgage industry, mortgage advisors that are registering so far, but it is very much a sort of varied audience that we're seeing at the moment. What we're kind of offering prospective clients or people who might be interested in 2022 or London is, once we've kind of completed our Manchester show, we're going to take the people that registered and attended, look at those who did attend, cross-reference it with our database of kind of further information, if you will, and then run a sort of a graphical report of, these are the demographics, this is the types of people that came, just because I think that's useful for anybody making a educated decision on whether they participate in the show. So
Fab. Thank you. Well, look, I think in terms of other questions, I think everybody. I don't think anybody else has got any other questions. So look, I'll let you go and continue your journey north.
of
All
course,
right.
yeah,
So, because
great stuff.
there's only so long you can stay in Starbucks.
That's true. Yeah, I've been nursing this peppermint tea for a while now.
They're going to kick you out soon. They will
Yeah,
kick
yeah.
you out soon.
No,
Um,
well,
so thank you, pal. Really,
no,
really
thank you very
appreciate
much,
it.
Paul, for the opportunity, and thank you to everyone that's come along today. And yeah, if anyone has any questions, please don't hesitate to get in touch.
Lovely. Thanks, mate.
Right, have a great
Cheers,
day,
guys.
everyone. Bye.
Bye, bye, bye.